Hi, this is Jonathan from Clever Tiny Homes as part of our quality build series. And today we're at McCarran Manufacturing with Brett McCarran, who manufactures our trailers. And we're going to talk about what makes a quality tiny home trailer. When we talk about quality, we really mean durability, because this is not just what transports the home to the final destination, but it's really the foundation of the home. And so how do you make it for the last decades?
We're trying to make a trailer like this right here. This is 5/16 thick. This right here is 1/4 inch thick. This is 5/16 thick. This is channel. Most tiny houses, it built out of tubing. And you'll see all these cross members all over the place. And it's very, very thin. Tubing, the trailer will bend and flex. Channel is made structurally to stay rigid in length. So this is way more rigid, so that when you're transporting your trailer, your trailer isn't doing this as it's going down the road and you're hitting bumps and the things are breaking inside and you're structurally destroying the trailer somewhat each time it gets moved. Or if you have a really solid base frame like this one is, you have less movement, more stability, and the suspension is going to take the bumps. The trailer is going to stay rigid and it's not going to do this. So those are the biggest things different about these trailers than most people do with the thin wall tubing. It's all heavy metal. Now, mind you, we're using tubing here for our cross members, but where the load is being taken from the sidewalls, it's getting transferred from here to the channel. Backhoe is all the way through the entire building to end up being right over the top of these two axes onto the tires. And this is designed to be very durable, very rigid, and I think this frame here would be, I believe the top of the tiny house would degrade. This will be the last thing to fall apart. We'll leave it at that.
Let's talk about the axles and the wheels, because the question we get a lot is, okay, I need to transport this over a dirt road or bumpy, right? And the reference a lot of folks have is more like their RV, your like travel trailer little wheels. And so we talk about these are not your little tiny travel trailer wheels. These are industrial wheels. So how does this?
These are 7,000 pound Dexter axles made in Texas. These are 7,000 pounds each axle. We use 12-ply tires that are rated above what the axles are rated. So you'd be able to take this tiny house, hook it up, and go from California to Maine and back. This is a trailer. It's not meant like mobile homes are and stuff, to where they're just trying to barely get where you're going and then you call it good. This is made, even though there's a house on top of it, it's being made to industrial standards like you would an equipment trailer. Here we are in paint prep right now, getting ready for all painting trailers in the morning. You'll notice on that fender well across the way there, it's been caulked all the way around that backing plate for the fender. So that way when this trailer goes down the road being delivered, that no water can get from the tires and wheels into your structure.
How does this kind of framing impact durability once it's in place, right? Talk about erosion and rusting and things like that.
Well, even if we didn't paint this frame at all, which we put 2 coats of paint on it, that paint is going to last upwards of 20 years old by itself, with even in coastal regions. Of course, more saltwater you have, the more the paint's going to break down quicker. But
even this real
here, if we
jump like that,
if we didn't even paint it and we took this over to Morro Bay, it would probably be just fine for 30 years.
So that's the key thing here, is that we use channel, not tubing.
Correct.
Which not only makes it stronger from a transportation perspective, but makes it much, much stronger or more durable when it's on that coastal area.
Correct.
These are trailers getting welded right now.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, even without paint, they're going to last a really, really long time, so it's metal. But the paint adds an extra layer.
Oh, most definitely.
And so
all metal rusts when exposed to moisture. But I guess the point being made is, when you're doing a tubing frame structure, and most of them are less than an 1/8 inch thick, even painted, when those start to rust, the integrity drops very quickly.
Yeah.
Not only does it flex, just because tubing isn't made to take load onto, tubing is made to take load up and down, not lengthwise. So everyone else is building trailers out of tubing, They're just flexy. I mean, they move a lot. You don't want to have that, so you want rigidity. But the paint on here is going to add more time, but just the thickness of the metal, I mean, you can put it out unpainted and leave it outside, and 30 years from now, you could decide to build a tiny house on top. They're just going to be mine. So that's the difference between heavy metal using channel and heavy angle and stuff, as opposed to tubing. You just get longevity of life.